Welcome back, grade 2 students. Welcome in your science lesson, right? Now, before telling you what we are going to do, I'm going to show you a video. And again, this video is our Edward video. Now, remember, children, do watch it later on so that it's going to be saved for you. And when I'm going to play this video, I want you all to be very, very careful in watching this video because I'm going to ask you questions about that video. All right? Ready? Okay, there you go. One, two, and three. Can you see my screen, children? Yes? Great. Now watch this video. One, two, and three.
Hey, I spent the day in the park, understanding motions, riding a bicycle. It's a pull and push motion. Seesaw with my friends, up and down, hop, hop, up and down, hop, hop, up and down. And the basketball, pushing it down and up, down and up. And the merry-go-round, rolling motion, woo, and pulling my dog. Ta-da!
Correct. Now what was that about actually? Yes, that was all about motion, right? That was all about some kind of force that you are using, right? So today's topic is work and force. Now, see, children, whatever you are doing, whatever, whether you are playing, whether you are reading, this work in science language, in scientific language, you call it a work. Whether you are working or not, it doesn't matter. If you are playing also, it will call work in science. If you are reading also, it will call work in science, right? So we are going to learn about work and force. What are you working? What work is called? So whatever action you are doing is called work in scientific language. In science, it is called a work. Now, which book am I holding in my hand? This is your science book. Now, if I want to read this book, what am I going to do for that? I have to open it. Now I am opening this book with what? With my hand. So I'm using my hand to open it. I'm pulling the paper push and I am opening it, right? So I'm using a force, some kind of force to open this book. Same goes for this board marker. If I'm going to write it on the board, what do I have to do? I have to open the board marker. I have to use a force. And what this force is called? It's called pull. I have to pull this marker to write it down. So again, this is a work and I am using some kind of force to do this work, right? So whatever force I am using. So what actually is force? Now, whatever the force is, the action which is push or pull. Push and pull action is called a force. Do you understand? Now, I'll explain you this with the help of this presentation. Do watch it with me and carefully listen to it. Now, you can see this my screen. What is happening in this picture actually? These children are playing. They are playing with a ball. The one boy is pushing the ball and the other ones are going to catch it or push it with their legs. Again, what are they using? They are using a force, right? They are using a push force, right? Now, what is what this girl is doing? She is writing. Again, writing is a work. You call work in scientific language. Very good. Now, what these children are doing? They are making a puzzle. So they are also doing a work. They are carrying the puzzle in your hand, pulling it and pushing it to make it a puzzle. So again, it is work and force. They are using both. They are using a force also to do this work. right? Now what about this picture? They all are doing some work and using some kind of a force. Now if you see here, this boy is carrying a pot, a flower pot, right? This girl is carrying something in her hand. So both these are using a force. They are doing some work and using a force. Now this boy is putting soil over on this plant. So he is pushing, pulling both, right? He is pulling also, he is pushing also. Same goes for here. This girl is cleaning, she is mopping, she is pushing and pulling to mop, right? Now these two girls, what they are doing, they are putting soil to plant something, right? So they are putting, so they are doing what? They are pulling also and they are pushing also. Again, they are using both the forces, push and pull to do the work. So again, look which force they are using. This boy is dragging something. So he is using which force? For the force of drag. He is dragging. Now this girl is carrying something in her hand. Now this boy is pulling this this box. He's pulling a box and this again other boy is pushing the box. So they are using again both these forces, push and pull. These are force because you use push and pull for some heavy things, right? For some things which requires a force, which requires some muscular things to do, right? Now these again, he's pushing the door, he's pulling the door. Again, these are heavy objects, so they are using push and pull. Now look which force this boy is using. The girl is sitting on a swing, and what do you do when you sit on a swing? Other person pushes and pull. Push, pull. Again, both the forces are used. Push and pull. Now look at these forces again. You are using a shopping cart. So he is pushing the cart and he is pulling the cart. See how these two carts are different? This cart requires a push, whereas this cart requires a pull force, right? So both these carts, they required both the forces to do the action. So that means what was all things that I have explained you? They were all about the different types of forces. They were all telling you about different types of forces that you use and when you are using a force which requires some heavy object, you are using a heavy object, you want to use that object. So for that, you will either use a push force or a pull force, right? Push or pull for heavy object. It requires some force. And from where do you use that force? What is the thing in your body that helps you in doing? Your muscles. Your muscles. See, when I showed you about this board marker, when I have to use the board marker, I have to require to use my muscle to pull the cap of the marker so that the cap is opened. And once the cap is open, I am able to do my work. Now again, this is not a heavy object, yet it requires some force. It requires some force because the cap is very tightly done. So I have to require the force to pull the cap. Do you understand? So same goes for the book. I have to require something type of force to to open it. But this is not push or pull because it's not a heavy object, right? So we need to do the work for that work, if you are using some heavy object, we will require push or pull force. And these push or pull are the forces. The other forces are you saw in that dragging, caring. These are also the different work things that you do. You drag an object to do some work. You carry the object to do some work, right? And what is work? Work is all the actions. It is the action that you call a work in scientific language. You call work to all the actions in scientific language. Like I've shown you the in the presentation, I have shown you the picture of that girl. What she was doing? She was writing. So writing is also an action. So this is also called work in scientific language. Dragging is also an action. It's called work. Carrying is also an action. It's called work. And how do you do the work? You either use different type of forces like push or pull. Basically, push and pull are for heavy objects, right? So now I want you to write in your notebooks the names of the forces and what are the forces name? Push, pull, drag, carry. Now, push and pull are the motion words, right? It's a you're doing some kind of motion, okay? And drag and this thing is are also motion words, but push and pull are mostly used for heavy objects, right? So I want you to write down these names in your notebook, and later on for your homework you are going to draw or paste pictures showing these all forces. You are going to paste pictures of push. You are going pictures and one pictures are fine. One picture of pull, one picture of showing a dragging something, some one picture of showing carrying something. Okay, so 4 pictures you are going to paste in your notebooks for homework, and right now you are going to write down these courses name, and your time is for 5 minutes and your time starts now. Okay, time is up. You have written, show me your work. Very good. Good job. All right. So that means forces, work and force is clear to you all. What is work? Whatever action you are doing, you call work in scientific language, right? And what are forces? Push and pull are the forces because these forces are used for some heavy things, for some heavy object. You use some kind of force. You use some kind of force, and that force is push and pull, right? So I hope you must have enjoyed this lesson. You can also do this push and pull type of work when you are using your toy cars. You all must have had your toy cars with you. What do you do with your toy car? You push the car, you pull the car. You push the car, you pull the car, right? So that is a works, that is a force that you are using, right? So I hope you must have enjoyed this. Do that, do watch that Edward video again so that it is more clear to you all, and you can see loads of Edward videos. There are so many videos on different topics, and do your homework, okay? If you don't want to go outside to buy the printouts of pictures or something, you can draw the picture yourself or can take help from your elder brother and sister. Okay, children? So see you tomorrow in your next class. Bye bye. Have a nice